morning and thanks for joining us on Nationwide today. I am Elizabeth Omori. We begin with public service reform. The House of Representatives is calling on the Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation to, as a matter of urgency, provide detailed information on some of the reforms going on in the public service. At an interface with the House Committee on Public Sector and Institutional Reforms, the House faulted the Federal Civil Service Strategy and Implementation Plan 2021 to 2025. National Assembly correspondent Mohammed Rabiu Ali reports.
Over the years, successive administrations have taken steps to reform the public service. It is, however, generally believed that unilateral and restrictive reforms made it cumbersome. This interface between the House of Representatives Committee on Public Sector Reforms and the representative of the head of the civil service is instrumental in shaping the landscape of governance in the country.
We expect the head of service to be here. Can you brief us about your working with the organization, the Bureau, and what is your achievement and tell me your achievement records?
We are not where we expected to be by now, but we certainly have achieved significant progress. And at least on the fourth pillar of the overall reform, we do have some data to show for this progress made.
Members of the committee faulted some reforms in the last 5 years, citing poor working ethics, inadequate facility, corruption, and lack of mentoring and succession plans.
We have worked on budget now. They've done budget defense. We have approved of them. And we see it. They've appropriated for employment, promotions again. These waivers are still there. And the reform is supposed to be taking place within a span of 2021-2025. We're in 2024. What are we doing about these waivers?
If you want to run a reform, the agency that is supposed to run the reform is not adequately funded.
The committee wants the head of the civil service of the Federation to appear before it next sitting for some clarifications. From the National Assembly, Mohammed Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
To security, the Nigerian Army says it will leverage research and innovations, also provide all support needed to enhance the proficiency in use of combat arms, especially in fulfillment of its national duties. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tarid Lagbaja, stated this at the closing ceremony of the Combat Arms Training Week 2024 in Jaji, Kaduna. Haruna Mohammed reports.
It was an assembly of equipment, arms and ammunition, as well as research and development of the Infantry and Armored Corps of the Nigerian Army for the Combat Arms Training Week 2024.
These are the Armored Corps ammunitions used in engaging both soft and hard targets, showcasing the strengths of the Armored Corps in defending the nation.
A simulation of the infantry, tactical firepower and maneuver when in contact, preparing the corps against the challenges of modern warfare. The Nigerian Defense Academy displayed unarmed aerial vehicle shooting, Zayaplofish area combat bomb release on target locations, as well as anti-ambush shooting by 71 regular corps cadets. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tarid Lagbaja, in a message assures the immediate adoption of takeaways and reports of the combat arms training.
In the days ahead, a lot will be done, harnessing various technologies to enhance the proficiency of the combat arms.
The Infantry and Armored Corps of the Nigerian Army as combat arms indicates they are more than willing and able to combat any form of threats in defense of Nigeria's territorial integrity. From the Infantry Corps Center Range, Jaji, I am Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the management of the Nigerian Television Authority says it is ready to collaborate with the West African Action Network on small arms against gun violence. The assurance was given during a courtesy visit to NTA headquarters by members of the non-governmental organization in Abuja. Francis Udojo reports.
It is a fact that the development of any society largely depends on the will and commitment of the people to ensure peace and unity strive. It is for this reason and the need to sensitize and discourage the youth against gun violence that the West African Action Network Group initiated a visit to NTA for collaboration. Bringing words into action is the theme for this year's campaign, and with the media like NTA being the largest TV network in Africa, reorientation of youths against all forms of violence, the group said, could easily be achieved.
You have been serving the country with genuine patriotism. So I want to use this opportunity to appeal to Mr. President to do all the necessary things possible to support the media organizations, both private and public, so that we can collectively unite towards achieving peace for the unity of this country, sustainability of this country.
The Director General of NTA, Salihu Abdulhamid Dembos, represented by the Executive Director News, Ayo Adeoyi, described the visit as a necessity that requires attention and collaboration, saying the proliferation of small arms is of great concern to every patriotic Nigerian, and NTA, being a national television, will give necessary support to the campaign.
We are partners in progress. So we would like to just furnish us with the program of action to know where we can key in, so that we can together address this issue of proliferation. It's a big issue that every hand must be on deck.
It is expected that the visit will propel more movement against the misuse of small arms and light weapons in Nigeria. Francis Udojo, NT News.
And police officers in charge of legal and human rights issues must demonstrate high level of impartiality, objectivity and adherence to standards. Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun handed down the warning at a meeting with officers of the legal department at the force headquarters, Abuja. Francis Form tells us more.
This is the first time the Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun is meeting with the officers in charge of legal department of the force from across commands and formations under one umbrella. The meeting is to address fundamental human rights violations and some of the challenges affecting the legal department in order to have a formidable, productive and viral legal department in the force.
I urge you all to discharge your duties with diligence, integrity, and unwavering commitment to justice. Collaborative efforts are indispensable. We rely on the expertise and guidance of our legal officers to ensure the legality and efficacy of our operations.
Another issue at the table for discussion is the issue of garnishee order.
I implore you as officers in charge of legal to prioritize the resolution of the issues of garnishee order targeted against the police. Understanding the legal framework, diligent documentation and collaboration with relevant agencies are therefore paramount.
IGP Egbetokun advised the OSIS Legal to ensure that the NPF legal system remains a beacon of hope and justice for all. Francis from NTA News.
Now, in other news, Prince Harry and his wife Meghan are in Nigeria to champion the Invictus Games and highlight mental health. Earlier on, Defense correspondent Najat Tijani covered the arrival at the Defense headquarters, where the successors had a meeting with the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa.
Prince Harry and the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle, have finally arrived at the Defense headquarters here in Abuja to champion the cause of the Invictus Games, which Prince Harry founded in 2014 to champion the cause of wounded servicemen and veterans. Prince Harry himself could be called a veteran, having served in the Royal Military as a gun runner, an Apache helicopter gun runner in Afghanistan, shortly after which he founded the Invictus Games. Now, the Prince and the Duchess of Sussex have already entered into the Defense headquarters, where they are having a closed-door meeting with the Chief of Defense Staff. And it is expected that after their meeting, they will head to Kaduna, to military hospitals, to also visit other wounded servicemen and veterans. The Sussexes earlier went to a school in Wuse to visit students there and talk about mental health issues. It's one of the reasons why the couple is in Nigeria. Apart from championing the cause of wounded veterans, the couple also wants to highlight the issue of mental health.
Thank you, Naja, and we look forward to more updates on their visits. Now, the Ogun State Police Command says it has neutralized 2 out of 6 suspected kidnappers who abducted 3 expatriates in the Mowe axis of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway and rescued 3 other kidnapped victims following a gun battle with the suspected kidnappers along the Benin-Shagamu-Papalanto Road in Ogun State. Yemi Dalimo reports.
The Ogun State Commissioner of Police, Abiodun Alamutu, explained that the victims were kidnapped on the 4th of May while returning to their residence at Kajola Junction, Mowe, in Obafemi Owode local government area of the state. He said that upon receiving the report, the anti-kidnapping section of the command, in collaboration with other police formations in the axis and the local security agents, swung into action, tracing the kidnappers to a forest along the Benin-Shagamu-Papalanto Road, where they engaged the hoodlums in fierce gun battle, leading to the neutralization of 2 members of the gang and safe rescue of the victims.
PMF escort attached to the first bus exchanged fire with the kidnappers and managed to escape with all the occupants of the first vehicle.
The CP knows that 2 AK-47 rifles, 1 single-barrel locally made gun, 1 sword, a cell phone, criminal charms, and 65 rounds of ammunition were recovered, while the likely ransom sum of 7.9 million naira and 1,500 rupees Indian currency were also recovered from the criminal gang. While assuring residents of adequate security, the police chief notes that efforts are ongoing to arrest the fleeing 4 members of the kidnapped gang. In Abeokuta, Yemi Dalimo, NTA News.
Away from security, the need for Nigerian youth to remain resolute, determined and innovative in achieving goals towards national development and self-actualization has again been re-echoed. This was the position of youth advocates at the 2024 National Youth Symposium, where the Director General of the NTA, Salihu Abdulhamid Dembas, was honored with an award of excellence.
Lack of job. Even those that even have maybe those people that enroll in 1 or 2 handwork, but they don't even have capital.
And this symposium seeks to provide adoptable solutions to problems facing the likes of Adewale, Chief Executive Officer of Cash Token Reward Africa, and other speakers at the event emphasized the importance of entrepreneurship, accessible support for systems, and technological innovations for aspiring youths to thrive.
Maintain a deliberate database of young people in power across the country to measure their performance.
We must get out of the value of self-pity, and we cannot be educated and then become functional illiterates.
Our youth should embrace wealth creation.
In his message, Director General of the NTA says the future can be bleak if the youth refuse to tag along life-changing initiatives of government to make their aspirations realizable.
You have to believe in this country. By so doing, you will believe in yourself and you'll be able to put in your quota to the development of this country.
Illiteracy and disrespect for constituted authorities were some of the factors they believe hamper the growth of the youth. As they urged the youth to rise to the task, DG of the NTA, other notable individuals and organizations were honored for their contributions to nation building, and a retired judicial officer, Justice Ibrahim Buba, was named patron of the organization. In another development, members of the Northeast Student Peace Initiative visited the Director General of the NTA and his team to congratulate him on his new position and appreciate his support towards professional reportage on insurgency in the Northeast and engaging the non-kinetic experiences of experts to prefer solutions.
While the federal government is trying to fight insurgency, we will continue to push until when peace is fully restored in all parts of the country.
We have seen a lot of reforms and a lot of improvement in the Nigerian Television Authority.
The DGNTA is to be made the patron of the initiative soon. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA. You're watching Nationwide on NTA. Let's head to Lagos, where Adeola is standing by with some reports. Hello, Adeola.
Elizabeth, lupus is a long-term autoimmune disease where the immune system attacks healthy body tissues. As a chronic disease that mimics many illnesses, there are concerns among medical practitioners about the low level of awareness, as statistics shows that it takes an average of about 6 years for a patient to be properly diagnosed. Therefore, many nations are joining hands today to create more awareness on the disease. Henginogen Adams will tell us more.
Ogale Edosio, a lupus warrior, having a session with one of her doctors. Behind the strength of fighting lupus for more than a decade, tales of pains and courage.
It has so many faces, So before you get the diagnosis, you will have gone everywhere, you will have spent so much money. My journey is that of from unawareness to awareness, then to success, now maintenance. And thank God it has been beautiful from then on.
Thelma Oti, a mother of 3, is also a lupus warrior.
The guy I was supposed to get married to left me because of lupus. And I don't blame him. Everybody thought I had HIV. Lupus it's not been easy. Thankfully, I have kids and I'm married with kids to a very nice man that takes good care of me. With all the lupus, with all the scars I have on my body.
As a dermatologist, Dr. Aisha Akyunkugbe has handled cases of lupus with results.
Lupus is also known as the great imitator. It can present in any form. It can present with neurological symptoms, psychiatric symptoms, dermatological symptoms, kidney, that's nephrology, can present like TB, can present like malaria, can present like typhoid, which is why it is commonly known that these patients, when you listen to their history, when they are finally diagnosed, you hear that they've been treating malaria and typhoid repeatedly.
Ogale, Thelma, Dr. Aki, and many others involved in the fight against lupus are calling on government and other stakeholders to make treatment to pains of lupus. In Lagos, Hinginu Adams, NTA News.
In promoting the ideals of interagency collaboration through stamping out security threats in the country, the Nigerian Customs Service has handed over 148 pieces of unmanned area vehicles, UAVs, known as drones, and military hardwares to the Nigerian Army. Michael Olaleya reports that the items which were intercepted at the Lagos airport also included close to 1.3 million counterfeited US dollars, which was handed over to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC.
Lagos Airport is a strategic border traversing the African continent, hence target for illegal importation. And the customs here, in fulfilling its responsibility of keeping surveillance, intercepted this consignment in various. Since the gadgets of 148 drones, 112 military hardware, bulletproof helmets and vests could assist in boosting the war against banditry, Lagos Airport handed them over to the 81 Division of the Nigerian Army.
It is allowed to bring in some drones that the capacity is not up to 250 grams. But anyone that is above that should not come in. And when we now wait for them to end user certificate, security advisors of will wait endlessly and they will never come because they know they cannot acquire the documents. And so they abandon them and we declare them as seizure.
shows that we are working together. And I know by the time we hand over this to our experts in the army, they will say what it is that it can be used for. Like he has said, that one or two of the drums can last up to 3 days in the air and can even carry the weapon.
Counterfeited notes of about $1.3 million and 5 cryptocurrency machines were handed over to an assistant commander of the EFCC, Moses Oguzi.
We have our machines that will analyze all of these cryptocurrency machines, and we hope to come out with better results and make our society a better place.
The controller said the Murtala Muhammed International Airport generated a total of 19 billion naira from January to April 2024. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NTA News.
And those are stories from Lagos. Nationwide will continue in a Sokoto Network Center with Ismail Habibu Shagari after this break. Please stay with us.
A warm welcome to Sokoto on Nationwide. The implementation of the e-border project of the Nigerian Immigration Service is now top priority for the service to achieve a more proactive border security and migration management. The Controller General of the service, Mrs. Kemi Nanananda, made this known during a 2-day working visit to border communities in Kebbi State. Correspondent Usman Abdullahi Shehu reports.
Kebbi State shares boundaries with republics of Benin and Niger. Although there are numerous points of entry and exit between the three countries, Kamba and Lolo borders are the two major ones. This is why the Controller General Nigerian Immigration Service, Mrs. Kemi Nanda, kicked off her official tour of borders from Kebbi State. This for her is to enable her fortified strategies to secure the country's border in compliance with presidential directive.
The strategic nature of Kebbi being that it borders two different countries. We have both the land border and the marine border. We're at the marine, this is by the water as well. So we want to assess how the borders are, what our officers are going through, what are the challenges and what is the problem, how do we solve this?
The immigration boss who described this service e-border project as a game changer in the security of Nigerian borders said arrangements are in top gear to kickstart the modern technology-driven border surveillance system in the country.
So this project is solely border solution. It talks about getting real-time data and information online, real-time, and it's going to be actionable data that would help us police the border better in terms of patrolling the border, in terms of knowing who comes in, who goes out of our borders. It's going to give us real information, real-time.
The Controller General and her entourage also paid homage to the Governor Nasiru Idris and the Emir of Gondu Muhammadu Ilyasu Bashir and traditional leaders of the border communities to solicit for support and cooperation. She also inspected facilities at the borders and held an interactive meeting with security stakeholders in the communities. In Brunei Kebbi, Usman Abdullahi Shehu, NTA News.
The improvement in reproductive health services at the grassroots has enhanced maternal and child health in Sokoto State. This has also enabled heads of families to take better care of their families. Zainab Saidu Abdul Nasir tells us more.
The health of a woman, especially during pregnancy, childbirth and postpartum period, is a critical measure of maternal health, while maternal mortality is an important indicator of the well-being of women as well as the performance of any state's health system. Sokoto State is one of the states in Nigeria with a high rate of maternal mortality, 1,576 deaths per 100,000 live births, and 78 deaths per 1,000 live births. These deaths are related to complications during pregnancy, delivery, or after delivery.
Women are tired of having problems with challenges that they're having at home concerning child and other things.
One of the ways to ensure a woman regains her health and energy to take care of the family is through child spacing. A visit to a rural health center at Tenge shows that efficient reproductive health services are being provided.
The situation of the country now, It's even making them to come for family planning without even in counseling. So they are coming. Sometimes we see husband escorting the wife to come and take family planning.
Some of the beneficiaries say they are now healthy to take care of their family, while their husbands can equally take care of the family's needs.
It only wants to have a space between one child to another child. I even get rest of mine now because I'm planning for family planning. My husband gets rest of mine now.
Child spacing enhances the health of the mother and children, empowers the woman socioeconomically and her family, as well as improve the growth of the society. The services at the Dengue Model Primary Health Center are being supported by TCI and DEFCOMS. In Sokoto, Zainab Said Abdul Nasir, NTA News.
And that's it from here. It's back to Elizabeth in Abuja for the continuation of the news.
So much. Now to infrastructure development. New tarred roads with pavements and drainages are springing up in Maiduguri, the capital city of Borno, courtesy of Babagana Umar Zulum-led administration. A development observers say is unprecedented in the state's recent history. Maimuna Garba has a situation report.
From the old to the new GRA, Polo to Federal High Court leading to Mulai, Shehuri to Galadima Junction to Songhai, the situation is that of an intense activities with civil works taking place, ultimately resulting in an addition on the road networks in the metropolis. The value chain the projects are creating are not limited to the physical value being added, but the economic empowerment of the teeming youth who are now provided with employment opportunity. What is the thought of those concerned, especially some members of the benefiting communities, is the question put to some of them.
See the way the work is going, and government have really tried. Appreciate what Excellency Babagana Umar Zulum taking action about the construction of the road.
Mustafa Gubiu is the State Commissioner of Works.
Dilapidated roads, drainages, and other road penetrators in the state. And BOMA is always out there to maintain the road constructed within MMC and Nigeria, even across the local government of the state. And therefore, road maintenance is not an issue in Borno State government.
Opportunities for the people. When eventually completed, the project is expected to enhance access to remote and underserved areas, thereby improving the delivery of humanitarian aid and government services. Despite these challenges, stakeholders are committed to seeing the project through to completion, recognizing its significance for the future of Borno State and its residents. In Maiduguri, Maimuna Garba, NTA News.
And joining us live from Maiduguri is Abubakar Musa to tell us more on the development. Hello, Abubakar, and nice to see you. Could you tell us how the massive road infrastructure is changing the narratives in the states?
Thank you very much, Elizabeth. Motorists in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, in fact, not just motorists, but residents inclusive, are heaving a sigh of relief following the ongoing construction of ring and tarred roads across the state capital. This is actually one critical infrastructure that almost everyone has been waiting for due to the gridlock being experienced almost on daily basis in many areas across Maiduguri, the Borno state capital. This development is likely going to address the issue of flood to a large extent, especially when completed, because whenever it rains in the areas where these projects are being constructed, the whole places become waterlogged. It might interest you to know that it is also brisk business for a lot of hawkers around, because you could find them selling soft drinks and snacks to laborers at the project sites.
Okay, let's say if you just talked about people making brisk business. Let's talk about business one more time. How do you see this initiative helping or aiding businesses in the states?
Okay, I can categorically tell you that it will go a long way in helping the people, especially those engaged in small businesses, considering the current economic hardship that Nigerians and Nigeria are facing at the moment.
Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Still on infrastructure, Minister of Transportation Saidu Ahmed Al-Khali says the administration of President Bola Tinubu is determined to address the lingering issues bedeviling the activities of the Nigerian universities. The minister stated this during his inspection visit for the commencement of 2023-2024 academic session in the newly established University of Transportation in Dara, Katsina State. Husseina Sulaiman reports.
Your guidance, the Federal University of Transportation has flourished, becoming a center of excellence.
These are students who are undergoing different courses, interacting with the transportation minister and the principal officers of the university. The visit by the minister is to inspect some facilities put in place toward ensuring conducive atmosphere of learning.
The Deputy Managing Director of the CCEC is with us. We have extracted commitment that he is going to fix the university to the national grid, and we find a lasting solution to the water problem. And also, the university had met all the checklists of the TED fund, so it will be enlisted against next year so that we'll have more infrastructure for the university to grow.
The students have already started receiving lectures. Not only started receiving lectures, but they are prepared to start first semester examination of the first session.
The minister, after the inspection, appreciated the university's commitment to ensure the successful take-off of the final student. In Daura, Hussein Suleiman, NTA News.
And train service along Aba and environs has been restored, giving hope of ease of business as relative activities for Nigerians. Correspondent Ikechukwu Undukwe visited a train station and tells us more.
This sound is what Odi Patrick have been missing following the remodeling of the Aba-Port Harcourt train track.
Smiling and full of joy. That says it all. But previously, I get my goods, I have to put it into a car, then I come down to Port Harcourt. When I come down to Port Harcourt, at times the car, they can tell you story, it had a problem on the road or anything. But with this now, I have my goods in the train.
You transport it with a car or with a lorry, it will be more higher. But when you transport it with a train, it will be more lower. So we're like, federal government, they are doing well. But what we are asking them to, let them do the work, let you reach to the north, so that it will be easy for people to carry the goods and come back to this city. So that it will be very affordable price for us.
These people that carry bell and other heavy loads, they find it very, very cumbersome to get to Port Harcourt, especially during rainy season now.
When it started, we thought it was a fluke, but now it's a reality. All of us are happy.
The first 1 week of its operation, following the flag-off ceremony by the Minister of Transportation, Ahmed Al-Khali, the train has run for free in its first class and the economy. Ikechukwu Undukwe, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu has performed the groundbreaking ceremony for the dualization of the 84 kilometers Minna-Bida road. This, he says, is in line with his campaign promise to support subnational governments to guarantee sustainable socio-economic development. Salis Ogwanara reports.
Commuters along the Minna-Bida road are already singing a new song in anticipation of new driving experience in the next 2 years.
This road is not supposed to be more than an hour from Bida to Minna, but now it's taking almost more than 2 or 3 hours to fly it.
This is mostly a dominant rural area road where farm produce are being moved from the locality into the towns and cities.
We appreciate the road we want to do for the Niger State.
The Niger State Governor Muhammad Umar Ba'ago says the road infrastructure revolution is as a result of a tripartite arrangement among the federal government, Niger State, and developing partners.
1,000 kilometers of road we have commenced. We had gotten 500 billion naira funding for those jobs. So to allay your fears, no job is going to stop.
The landmark economic projects being commissioned today are an indication that Nigeria can work in our lifetime if we put the right people in the right place.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, represented by the son of the soil, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, says Niger State is strategic in driving the federal government policy on agricultural revolution.
The president has always insisted that for Nigeria to grow, there must be a larger cooperation between the federal government and the subnationals. So what the governor is doing today is an indication that indeed President Ahmed Bola Tinubu is walking the talk. We do hope that this road will not only reduce travel time between Mina and Bidda, but it will also save lives and create avenues for greater economic prosperity for our people.
The president's representative also performed the groundbreaking for the reconstruction of Bida-Wushishi Zungeru Road. From Bida, Saliu Gwanara, NTA News.
And for more reports on Nationwide, let's head to our studio in our Benin Network Center.
Thank you and welcome to Benin. Some Benin indigents, including palace chiefs and functionaries, staged a peaceful protest to Edo State High Court complex to demonstrate their solidarity with the palace over a civil case instituted against the revered Benin monarch, Obaeware II, by some suspended Enigye. Juta Bogu, who monitored the peaceful protest, tells us more.
Dressed in their various regalia, the palace chiefs, priests and priestesses, in a show of love and loyalty to the Oba, led other concerned indigents and residents to Edo State High Court, where the case was adjourned to 15 July 2024 during a closed-door sitting. From the court, they returned to the palace with a message that entire Benin people, both at home and in diaspora, are united against any action that is contrary to the customs and traditions of ancient Benin Kingdom.
The dissident Enigye, they are dissidents. They are placed on suspension. They are trying to claim their own independence through backdoor. They are trying to undermine what is rightly given to the palace. It is the Oba that created Enigye. Enigye did not create themselves.
In January this year, two suspended Enigye filed a suit at Edo State High Court challenging their suspension by the Oba. In the suit, they claim that only the state government has the power to suspend dukes in the state. In Benin, Jude Abugu, NTA News.
An initiative christened Edo State Civil Society Situation Room 2024 has been officially inaugurated. It is to ensure a credible election process in the September 21 gubernatorial election in Edo State. Jorebu reports that it is a collaborative effort of non-governmental organizations which believe in good governance.
The initiative is to keep the public informed about current events and developments as it relates to the upcoming governorship election scheduled for September. The chairperson, Edo State Civil Society Situation Room, Daisy Abiola, who is of the view that the people are entitled to the right information during the period, says it will help to monitor the Edo State governorship election and give accurate report of the exercise, leading to the entrenchment of transparency and communication between the government and its citizens.
This is not just about election-based data reporting. It involves ensuring that our democratization process effectively intrudes into the foundation and content of our nation.
During this campaign, we don't want campaign of cannoning, but one campaign that Edo people will come out to vote for Edo people. Our aim is to call accountability to electoral process.
and to make sure that every process is duly followed.
Tell the people of Edo State what you want to do when you win. Refrain from personal attack. Refrain from unwholesome statements, inflammatory statements that may trigger the state into serious crisis.
The Edo State Civil Society Situation Room is made of civil societies drawn from the Justice Development in Benin, Conference of Non-Governmental Organizations, the African Network for Environment and Economic Justice, Uromi JDPC, in Benin. Joy Egbo, NTA News.
And that's it from Benin. Nationwide continues in Jos with Mary standing by, but that will be after the break. Please stay.
Many thanks for joining us in Jos. The need for collaboration between government agencies, civil society organizations, and other relevant stakeholders to establish a coordinated response to gender-based violence and child molestation has again been brought to the fore. This was at a stakeholders engagement with ministries, departments, and agencies in the state put together by Plateau State Gender and Equal Opportunities Commission. Ijeoma Ozemena reports.
Gender and Equal Opportunities Commission was established in 2023 to free the state from all forms of gender inequality while providing opportunities for all to achieve their full potentials. This engagement brings together stakeholders from NTAs on the plateau to chart innovative solutions for advancing gender equality. Speaking on the role of MDAs in achieving their mandate, chairperson of the commission, Olivia Daziem, harps on the need to support survivors of gender-based violence and molestation by ensuring the victim's safety regardless of gender.
I'm happy that the different ministries and departments and agencies that had the opportunity of attending this session, confirmed their availability for collaboration with us. For us to create a gender-friendly state, all hands certainly must be on deck, so that I'll be able to achieve, rights protection, human rights protection for everyone in the state.
For key players, tackling gender-based violence and ensuring equal opportunity cannot be achieved in isolation, hence the need for collective advocacy and shared responsibility.
National Human Rights Commission works in collaboration. It's one of our mandates to liaise with other agencies too that work on issues to do with human rights, to educate and sensitize the general public to know that they have rights, and whenever these rights are trampled upon, they know where to go to seek for remedy and redress.
We are here because National Orientation Agency is very passionate about gender issues.
We partner with them to call immediately so that all the stakeholders will be on board to assist the victim, particularly because our major focus is to ensure that that victim gets justice.
Other stakeholders focused on robust partnership and determination to checkmate human rights violations and eliminate all forms of inequality. In Jos, Ijeoma Ozemena, NTA News.
Stakeholders at a public lecture on Global Africa and the Academy, Past, Present and Future, and the challenge of ontological suicide are calling on Africans to come up with innovations and initiatives that will address poverty and corruption and put the continent on the path of greatness. Ijeoma Ozemena again reports that the lecture was delivered by Professor of Psychology John Ayotunde Ishola Bewaji of the University of Jos.
John Ayotunde is a professor of psychology with vast experience in research of Africa and its challenges, delivering the lecture titled Global Africa in the Academy, Past, Present and Future, and the Challenge of Ontological Suicide. He explained that colonization and introduction of Western education is a deliberate and coordinated attempt for Africans to depend on the Western world for solution to their problems. He notes that Africa is rich in mineral endowment, yet poor due to the fact that that structure is built by the Westerners who have programmed the mindset of Africa to be inferior. The professor reechoed the need for African leaders and intellects to wake up and find solutions to challenges facing the continent rather than seeking foreign aid. Vice Chancellor, University of Jos, Professor Tanko Ishaya, said it is time Africans come up with new innovations and initiatives that will address poverty and corruption and put the continent on the path of greatness.
What we need to do in order to make sure that we have our educational system in Africa that will begin to solve and look at problems that are affecting us in Africa and have the right education that we need in order to solve our problems in Africa and indeed here in Nigeria.
The academia, traditional leaders, students, as well as top government functionaries at the event commended the ingenuity of the professor, urging him to sustain the effort for the benefit of humanity. In Jos, Ijoma Ozemena, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Jos Nationwide continues in Abuja studio with Elizabeth.
Thank you. Chairman, National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, Malam Jalal Ahmed Arabi says inaugural flight for this year's operation will hold on Wednesday, May 15, with the first batch of Kebbi State pilgrims at the Sir Ahmadu Bello International Airport, Birnin Kebbi. Arabi stated this at the inauguration of a media team for the 2024 pilgrimage, composed of journalists from the print, broadcast and online media organizations in the count. Tokpe Alabi reports.
Ahead of this year's Hajj, members of the National Hajj Media Team were chosen as professional media practitioners from their organizations, and as Muslims are expected to give the coverage of this year's Hajj their best. NACON Chairman Jalal Ahmed Arabi, while inaugurating the committee, wants members to project Nigeria's image while they adhere to the rules and regulations of the host country, Saudi Arabia, as management will provide best services to pilgrims before, during and after the exercise.
Everybody is the master in his own field, but I owe you the duty to share my concerns with you on the need for us to continue to be upright, because so much depends on what we report and what we report accurately. On our part, the Commission will continue to be open.
NACON chairman also revealed that in view of the high exchange rate of the naira to the dollar, it had been decided that each pilgrim will be given $500 as their basic travel allowance, BTA. Meanwhile, all is set for the airlift operations for this year's Hajj, as NACON asserts that 3 approved airlines, Max Air, Air Peace and Flynas, are fully prepared for the task ahead. In Abuja, Tokpe Alabi, NTA News.
And Tokwe's report ends nationwide this evening. Thank you so much for your time. I'm Elizabeth Omori.